You said 10, they heard opening beat. Every single ask turns into a courtroom, and somehow you're the one losing. You are not raising a negotiator, you are raising someone who's just waiting for you to crack. There is a way to give ground without losing the ground. By the end of this, you will walk away with 4 moves for when you are the one asking. Chores, curfew, the phone. 4 moves for when they are the one asking. The later night, the thing they want you to buy, more rope. And one line that ends the screaming for good. Proved methods. Let's go. The thing is that the fight is never about the phone. It's never about the curfew or the dishes or the 10 o'clock. Those are the costume. What you are actually fighting about every time is who is in control. And the second you make it a war that you have to win, you've already lost. Because a teenager doesn't have to beat you. They just have to outlast you. They've got nothing but time and a slammed door. So the villain isn't your kid. The villain is the standoff itself. That dumb tug of war where you are both pulling and nobody's moving. And you don't win a tug of war by pulling harder. You win by dropping the rope and offering a trade. Because steady beats loud. If every no in your house turns into a siege, if they scream and stall and wear you down until you crack, then somewhere at some point they learn that screaming works, that the siege pays off, that the pattern got taught, which means it can get untaught. Let's start with when you want something. You need the room cleaned, you need them home by a certain time, you need the phone down at dinner. 1. Ask before you tell. Instead of marching in with the verdict, this room gets clean today, end of story, you open with a question. What feels fair to you here? And I know, your instinct is screaming that they will lowball you. Sometimes they will, but hear what is happening. A kid will defend a rule they helped build. They'll file Q on your rule and defend their rule, even when it's basically the same rule. So let them put their fingerprints on it. 2. Give them a controlled choice. This one's almost sneaky. You don't ask, will you clean your room? That's a yes, no, and you've just handed them the no. You ask, Saturday or Sunday? Both answers are you winning. The room gets cleaned either way. They get to feel like they chose. You get the outcome. Everybody walks away with something. 3. Trade in specifics, not moods. You are always on that stupid phone. It's not a negotiation. It's a complaint, and they heard it for 400 times, and it means nothing. Phone gets down at 10, you get it back at 7. That is a deal. It got edges. It's got numbers. You can hold someone to a number. You cannot hold someone to a mood. 4. Keep the fence visible. Of course, some things are not up for negotiation. Safety, school, whatever your non-negotiables are. So say them loud. This part isn't on the table, but everything else we can talk about. Kids don't actually rebel against fences. They rebel against invisible fences, the ones that move, the ones they only find out about by crashing into them. Show them where the fence is. Good. Now, clip it. Now, they want something. The later curfew, the sneakers, the concert, the sleepover, the everyone else is allowed. This is where most parents make the same mistake. They go straight to yes or straight to no. Both are wasted opportunity. Because this right here is where you get to teach the whole skill. 1. Make them build the case. Don't rule. Make them work. Okay, convince me. What's your plan if it goes wrong? Who's driving? What happens if the other parent falls through? You are running a training exercise. You teach them that you don't get things in life by demanding them. You get them by making a case a reasonable person can say yes to. That is a skill they will feed them for 40 years. 2. Offer the trial run. You don't have to grant it forever. You grant it for 2 weeks. Let's try the later curfew for 2 weeks. Then we sit down and look at how it went. Now the stakes are tiny for you. If it's a disaster, it self-corrects in 14 days. And they get a real genuine shot. Nobody's backed into a corner. And we'll review it, teaches them that trust is a thing that grows, not a switch you flip. 3. Tie the freedom to responsibility they have shown. Not when you are older. That's meaningless and they hate it. Make it concrete. You want the later curfew? Show me 2 weeks of texting me back when I ask where you are. Do that and we are talking. Now freedom isn't a gift you dispense on a whim. It's earned, it's visible, and they know exactly what the exchange rate is. 4. Let them save face. This one is about ego, and teenagers are all ego, so pay attention. When you do say yes, don't make it feel like they beat you and don't make it feel like you caved. And when the answer is yes with a condition, hand it over clean. A win they had to grovel for isn't a win they respect. Let them keep their dignity. You're not trying to break them. You're trying to deal with them. 2 more. This work whichever side of the table you are on. First, separate the person from the problem. This is crucial. The enemy is never each other. The enemy is the situation, the status. So say it. I'm not against you. I'm against how this keeps ending up. That one sentence pulls you both into the same side of the table, looking at the problem together instead of nose to nose looking at each other like opponents. And second, and this is the big one, find the need under the demand. Because every demand is a costume. There's always a real need hiding under it. A kid who's desperate for a later curfew usually doesn't care about the 90 extra minutes. What they care about is not being the baby who gets picked up first while everyone watches. That's the real thing. The curfew is the costume, belonging is the body. And when you solve the real thing, how about you get a ride home with someone I trust instead of me pulling up out front? The demand just deflates because it was never about what they said it was about. It almost never is. Your job is to stop arguing with the costume and find and start talking to the body. And here's the line, the one that I promised. Write it on something. Tape it to the fridge. I cannot hear a demand, but I will always hear a case. That's it. When they come in hot, screaming, stamping, you stay steady and you say it right away. I can't hear a demand, but I will always hear a case. And you wait. You'll be doing the most useful thing a parent can do. You are changing what gets rewarded in your house. The siege stops paying out. The reasonable case starts winning. And a teenager, whatever else they are, is a very fast learner about what works. Show them that calm, built arguments get the yes, and slam doors get nothing. And I promise you, they will adapt because you finally did.